struggles every day. Makes me wanna holler, go away. I need more peace and hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
Oh, yeah, we can all use them. We really can. We can use strategies. Strategies for living, that is.
Yes, we can.
You ready? You ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
I think I'm ready today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. Hey, folks, welcome. Glad you're here with us on 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into another edition of Strategies for Living. What are habits, Lauren? Well, how would you define habits?
Habits are repeatable actions and behaviors that we do so often they go to the unconscious level.
So
they're things that we engage in.
We just do them and engage in them without really thinking about them, questioning them, putting them under the light of is this healthy for me or not healthy for me?
Yeah. So much so that I think some people might say, well, I didn't even choose to do that.
Oh, I think a lot of people. Yeah, I think a lot of people.
I can't help it.
Yeah,
right?
I think a lot of people say that, and the fact of the matter is that we do choose. We just, but when we choose something unconsciously, we don't think they're a choice,
right?
But they are. Well, So there are habits that we can get into that are healthy habits. And there's unhealthy habits.
Sure.
And a lot of times I think we talk about
the
unhealthy habits that we get into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they could each become the other. I mean, it requires some balance. I think unhealthy habits at one point in time can actually become healthy habits vice versa.
What if there were some habits that we could get into that are, so healthy for us that they could literally change the trajectory of our lives this year?
All right, that sounds like some strategy-worthy material.
I recently read a post on Facebook. You can get good stuff there, and you can get not so good stuff there. but this little post got my attention, and just about everything that the poster mentioned was a good and healthy habit. So we're going to talk about them today and expand on them. There's 10 of them. We might even end up throwing in more. Who knows?
All right.
You know how we are here. Yeah. Folks, thank you. Thank you for being here with us on Strategies for Living. We appreciate our sponsors making it possible, the Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Pintel Roofing and Learning RX and the Balanced Life Wellness Center and Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of The Godfather, Alligator Italian Sausage, and some pretty good muffies, too. We'll be back. More Strategies.
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. The body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift you up when skies seem drab. Mind and body, spirits free. Living life in harmony.
Hey, welcome in. Welcome into 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, psychotherapist extraordinaire,
I don't know about
PLPC.
the last part, but yeah.
David McMillan, And thank you for being with us here on Strategies. You know, I guess it's just natural the first of the year to think about, you know, our actions, our behaviors. What habits are we in that, you know, serve us and that help us? And the antithesis of that, right? Which ones maybe get in our way? And so when this post from Facebook, you know, came to my attention, and it's from Ibrahim Sori Kabia, is the gentleman that was the author of this post. I don't know if it's original, if he wrote it, but I want to give him credit just in case he did. Yeah. He certainly posted it. And, you know, I read each one of his 10 habits that he said, you know, these habits, if you do them, they can literally change your life.
Well, habits of any kind change your life.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they become your behavior, which becomes, you know, how you announce yourself, how you behave, how you create in the world.
Yeah, how you are in the world. Right. Yeah. So, you know, there's nothing that we're going to talk about today here that is just, you know, a phenomenal change. Right. So many times, little changes, you know, little small, little almost insignificant things.
You would think.
Can lead to, can surprise us in that they can lead to a pretty massive change in the way we feel, our overall life satisfaction, maybe our health and well-being, whether that's our physical health or our emotional health or both.
Right.
So, you know, it's not going to be a surprise that the very first thing that's mentioned is to drink water first thing. You know, I do this. I have consciously really increased my water intake in the last 6 months. And I've done that by virtually cutting out. I think I was addicted to iced tea, which, you know, if I had my tea, I had to have the lemon and the sugar.
Right.
And so cutting out the iced tea, and I was probably drinking on average 2 to 3 glasses a day easily, each glass containing four or 5, you know, spoonful of sugar and some lemon. And so that's a lot less sugar every week that I'm taking in. But I've pretty much eliminated iced tea. I'll get it when I go out now, but I don't make it at home anymore. Pretty much eliminated Cokes or sodas. I may get one when I go out, but you know, not otherwise.
Right.
So what have I substituted instead? Water. And you know, I think I feel the difference. At least I've convinced myself I do.
Well, I do. I mean, I drink water almost. I don't go anywhere without my water.
I know that, and really kind of you influenced me to make that change. But the article says to, you know, before your morning coffee, drink a full glass of water.
Yep.
And it says it jumpstarts your metabolism. It hydrates your brain and improves focus throughout the day. Now, that makes good sense to me.
Yep.
And you know, I keep, again, you influenced me here, but I keep a container of ice water by the side of my bed. I make it for you and me when we go to bed each evening. Right. And I keep it on the side of the bed. I try not to drink it a lot during the night, so I don't have to get up.
I will sometimes drink the whole thing.
I know you do. I know you do. But I don't know
if that's good or bad, but I do.
I don't like the. You know, I try to contain that at night because I don't like,
It's harder for
jumping
me.
up and going
Yeah,
to the
it's
to the
harder
restroom.
for me in the winter because the heat's on, and so I get really thirsty in the night.
But I look forward when the alarm rings, and we were talking about this the other day to a mutual client, that I'm in the habit of when the alarm rings, I don't. I get out of bed.
Right. You don't
It may
dawdle.
be no. I don't. I don't hit the snooze or anything like that like I used to. I make myself, when the alarm rings, whatever time I've set it, I sit up on the side of the bed and grab my water, and before I do anything, I hydrate.
Yeah.
And that's, I shower and get your morning drink before I drink my coffee. So I'm doing what the article is suggesting, and I really. I think I feel a difference. At least I've convinced myself I do.
Well, I don't doubt that you do. It makes it's like the article said, it's one of those small things that can make a huge impact. I mean, how we know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Right.
And it's not really about when you eat.
No, it's breaking the fast.
what
It's
you eat.
getting the metabolism kicked off.
Right.
And I can very well see that starts with water.
Mm-hmm.
And I've convinced myself that it's better using ice water.
Yeah. Cold water.
Cold water.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm right about that, but I certainly like it.
Mm-hmm.
But jump starting your metabolism makes great sense. Hydrating your brain makes great sense.
Well, I mean, especially for most people, if you're not me who drink throughout the night, most people have not had water
Right.
for 8 hours or so, right? And so it's important to go ahead and get that back boosted and started.
I love my morning coffee, but even without the morning coffee, since I've started drinking the water, right away when the alarm goes off, I think I'm less foggy. I mean,
I
instead
believe
of depending on the coffee to chase the fogginess and the cloudiness of the night away, I think that that cold drink in the morning, first thing in the morning, even before I jump completely out of bed and get the shower. And we were talking to the mutual client and talking about the importance of the morning routines, morning habits.
Yes.
And for me, making that choice and decision to get up without hitting the snooze button and then going directly to the shower, not passing go, not collecting $200, has been an important thing for me, and so I don't know. I think I do think it improves my metabolism. I think it improves my focus. Another thing the article suggested was to schedule nothing time. You're going to love this one.
I already do. I love it. Yes.
So schedule what is, you put it in your calendar, schedule and call it nothing time.
I was doing this very well in the summer and the fall.
Yeah.
When it turned winter and after all the holidays, I have actually gotten out of this habit.
Right.
And I would like to reinstate it.
Yeah, and I think, this particular article recommends 15 minutes daily.
Yep.
To do absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this means, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So it means
To sit in the silence.
Put
and
your phone in
stillness.
another room if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do anything while you're sitting.
Right.
Just do nothing. Absolutely nothing. And, this may blow some people's minds because we are such a busy culture and society.
Yeah, and I think it's
We've almost
difficult
got to
for a
be
lot of
doing
people.
something.
Yeah.
But nothing, this is kind of, I think it would be an oxymoron. Nothing is powerful,
Very incredibly.
Yeah. So
it reminds me of the the little cartoon of the two monks out in the field meditating, and one says, "Nothing makes sense." And the other one says, "Yes, it does."
Yes, it does.
Doesn't it?
I love it. But what does the nothing time do? Again, 15 minutes daily, every day.
Yep.
At least 15 minutes. You could do it for more, I guess.
Sure.
But the nothing time resets your mind.
Yeah.
And it also sparks creativity.
Yeah, and I think 15 minutes total, like in one chunk, would be best. But for some clients who struggle with, being still or sitting there, I highly recommend just finding some white space.
Yeah.
Right? So the time, like right before you've gotten to your appointment and you've got like maybe a couple minutes before you need to walk inside, use that. Use those few minutes, and those few minutes, throughout the day add up.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
Most definitely. So we're talking habits today. We're talking about underrated habits that can literally be a life changer today here on Strategies for Living. And we've actually got 10 of these, so I guess we got to hurry. We've only gotten through... We've only gotten through what? 2 or 3, yeah. So we'll speed up this next segment. We'll get out of our habit of going slow.
It's not a bad habit.
Not a bad habit either. Talking about underrated habits that can change our lives today here on Strategies for Living. Stay with us. More to come. More to learn. We'll be right back.
To your table, we're keeping it alive with flavors from the family passed down to survive. The Godfather's here with a twist in the tail, alligator Italian sausage, and it sure won't fail. It's the boss of the bayou, a taste you can't refuse. Italian tradition, Cajun infused. Sausage, bold and true. Andres, bringing the bayou to you.
Get the Godfather alligator Italian sausage only at Fertitta's Delicatessen, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport. Pick up a muffy while you're there. The Godfather alligator Italian sausage. It's a taste you can't refuse. Sold only at Fertitta's, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport. Dealing with stress? Pain? Feel like you're running out of options? When your life is balanced, wellness is a given. True wellness is holistic. It's about the mind, the body, and the spirit, all in balance. Now, there's a place right here in Shreveport that's all about helping us achieve peak mental, emotional, and physical health. The Balanced Life, 117 Kings Highway, right next door to Strawn's. Come see and feel the difference getting your life in balance can be. Many of your friends and neighbors have already learned the difference less stress and pain mean in their lives. You can book a discovery session right now online, thebalancedlife.us. All you've got to lose is stress, pain, or maybe both. Come see and feel for yourself the real difference balanced wellness makes. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway in Shreveport, next door to Strawn's. thebalancedlife.us.
Back with Strategies for Living Radio here on 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Thanks for coming back with us. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, and we're talking about underrated habits today. And these underrated habits can make a tremendous change in our lives. We've talked about drinking water first thing, to jumpstart your metabolism and get your brain Get your brain going, hydrating your brain and improving your focus during the day. We've talked about scheduling nothing time, dedicating 15 minutes daily to absolutely nothing. No phone, no task, resetting your mind and sparking creativity. Next is leave one bite on your plate. This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's about the food. I think it's about, discipline and self-discipline. So he says, train yourself train your self-discipline by consciously, you could say intentionally, consciously leaving a bite of food uneaten. He says it's a small habit, and it's true, it is.
Yeah.
That builds massive control in other areas.
This is interesting.
It is.
I think it would be very personal to each person because we all have a very different relationship with food and with eating.
Yeah,
right?
but I think it's way beyond. Lauren, I agree with you, and you're zeroing in on the food. And again, some of us more than others of us need to leave a bite or two on our plate. I'll raise my hand to that one. But I think this is really not about the food. It's about the training of the mind.
Yeah.
It's about the focus and intention of, and this there are dishes that I would find this very hard to do. You just made a wonderful, before we recorded this program, you just made a wonderful lunch.
Yeah.
Of salmon and pad thai vegetables.
Right.
With a fantastic sauce on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know it, I'm sure you did. I cleaned the plate.
Manja.
Yeah. And so I would, I would have fought with myself. Had I been doing this habit, I would have fought with myself. I got to get because the salmon and the vegetables were good. The sauce was excellent. And so I wouldn't have wanted to leave, that one bite.
Right.
But it's like the discipline. And a bite could be a small bite. It doesn't have to, we're not saying waste food here.
Right.
This is not about the food as much as, to me, as it is about training the mind, training, your disciplining yourself. All discipline is really self-discipline.
Right.
And
so where do you see that laying over then in the rest of your life?
I see that as especially in our emotional life. We live in such a reactive world. And the more that we do small things that are conscious and intentional,
right,
the more we can then perhaps cut down on our own personal reactivity in the world. If I'm cutting down on my level of reactivity,
right,
then I'm improving my level of creativity, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so that's where I see that, just myself as I look through this, that's where I see that this little bitty habit of intentionally and consciously leaving one bite, just one bite on your plate.
I'm wondering how much, setting that intention to leave the one bite might also help you to be more conscious, more mindful throughout the meal.
Yeah.
Maybe help you to enjoy it more, because knowing that I have to leave one bite.
Right.
Right. And so to take your time with it and to really enjoy and savor each bite.
Savor.
More.
Yeah. I think a lot of us, go so fast and don't focus on really savoring our food.
Yeah.
That we don't get the enjoyment out of it that we truly can. And I think you can savor your vegetables, you can savor a good steak, you can savor
all the foods.
a
and
Whopper or
you'd
a McDonald's or a, a McDonald's burger,
Well, you'd be surprised, I think, how much we miss in the shoving down of food just to get to the next thing, right? If you're just eating to live, right?
Yep.
Which I think many of us can get in the habit of because, we don't, especially here in the West, maybe more in the European countries where they give people, it's expected to have an hour or more for lunch.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. They place more importance on that time period of rest and eating.
Right. This next one is interesting.
Okay. Well, I think that last one was pretty interesting too.
Yeah, we'll wait for this one.
Okay.
Flip the what if question. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've done this with clients before. If it's what I think it is. Instead
of, a lot of times our go-to when we've got a new idea or whatever is, well, what if it goes wrong? Mm-hmm. Okay, so flip that.
What if it goes right?
Right. Flip the what if question to, well, what if it works out better? Mm-hmm. Way better than I imagined. Right. So what does this do? This one little shift builds resilience. Mm-hmm. And it builds optimism.
And confidence.
And
creativity.
Yep.
And ability to move forward, which is resilience.
I don't know that we really realize until we really get mindful intentionally about our words and thoughts. Mm. Our deeds too, but especially...
It starts there.
It starts in our mind. It starts with the conversation that we're constantly having in our own heads. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that we are as conscious as we could be about how negative some of our conversation within ourselves is. And why am I so sure about that? I'm so sure about that because of the negativity out in the world.
Right.
So, and I'm so sure about that because of 30 plus years of interacting, and talking to people mainly about what am I thinking? What are you thinking? What am I thinking? And just observing the amount of negativity that is built in. And I think that this is another program, but I think that we almost train, our children at a very early age to have a negative bias in their self-talk.
Yeah.
And then that client might spend, 20 years in therapy as an adult trying to turn that around.
If they decide to do that. If they recognize within themselves the negativity and what it's creating in their world.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people don't even ever notice or never conscious of it.
Yeah. So, that just to flip that what if question, flip it simply from what if it goes wrong to, well, what if it works out way better than I ever thought or dreamed it would?
Yeah. The way I often approach that with clients is, okay, fine. We can totally consider the what if it goes wrong? What if it goes wrong? What's the worst case scenario?
Yeah.
But if we do that, we have to be fair, right? And so what if it goes totally right?
Absolutely.
What if it goes beyond what you imagined it is possible?
Absolutely. Right? You got to balance that out, don't you?
Yeah.
And so, if you're going to do one, do the other. Okay, so the next one is interesting too. And I think you're going to like this one.
Okay.
Every month, delete one app. So every month, remove one app from your phone that it doesn't serve you.
Yeah.
So less screen time means more real life time.
Yes.
And how many of us, just absolutely, and I mean, let's face it, there's an app for everything, right?
Yep.
And a lot of us, as we find new apps, we just download them. So for a lot of us, I'm raising my hand here. My phone is full of apps that I don't use. This would not be a hard one for me.
Yeah.
You know?
could probably delete
I could probably do this weekly. I could probably do this weekly and be okay.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that there aren't apps that I use all the time and that I really enjoy and that I would not eliminate.
Right.
But we're talking here about,
simplifying.
The simplifying, yeah.
And I like the idea of once a month, because then you could put a date on it, right? And maybe make it easy, like the first of the month. Oh, it's app deleting day.
Maybe I could download an app that will remind me.
There you go. That sounds a little counterintuitive. I think we all have built-in reminders. On the
we
phone.
probably do.
That's part of it,
I don't.
If you want to do that,
I probably don't. There is probably
there
an app
is
for
another
that.
app
And
for
there
that if you
probably
want.
is, as we are speaking, 3 or 4 new apps being developed for this very thing.
Right.
Because that's just the nature of our connected world today. But we don't need an app for that. We can, we can use what we've already got built into our phone and be fine.
I think so.
We're talking about underrated habits today. That if we change them, if we're willing to change them, they can make incredible changes in our lives. Talking about that today on Strategies for Living. We'll be right back.
You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail, and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies for living radio.
Yeah, we need them. We need them. We got them right here on 101.7 FM. 710 Keel. We need strategies for living, that is. And today, Lauren Leon McMillan, myself, David McMillan, we're talking about underrated habits today that if we're willing to change, they can literally change our lives, you know?
Well, habits, period, change our lives.
Yeah, well.
Right? But
yeah.
these are significant.
Yeah, there you go.
Perhaps.
There you go. All right, so do 1% more daily. So this could be one more push-up. It could be writing one extra page. It could be even one additional minute of focus. But, you know, compound has always astounded me. The power of compounding.
Yeah.
And I wish why don't we teach compounding to first and second graders? Well, I guess they were, you know, we probably wouldn't understand it then. I wouldn't have understood it in first and second. But it's just phenomenal, you know, that if I had saved $1 every week starting back when I was in 5th grade,
Right.
I wouldn't have a worry in the world right now, you know, because of saying that I saved that and just never touched it,
Right.
and just let it compound. I wouldn't have a worry in the world right now. And, you know, anybody that did that, I mean, you know, so we, you know, you can see that so well with money, but you can see it and let, you know, your actions compound too. So one more push-up, one more page, one additional minute of focus. This habit actually compounds into massive growth over time. And so, you know, when I first read do 1% more daily, you know, my first reaction was, how? I'm busy every day. I go from one thing to another, right?
Yeah.
But then I stopped and read it and understood what he was saying. Okay, that's a pretty doggone good idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it could be, I think it could be 1% more or 1% less.
Yeah.
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 I mean, you could kind of add together 2 of his habits there and do 1% more nothing a day.
Yeah.
And
there
that
you
would
go.
greatly impact your
I like
life
it.
as well.
I like it.
Better.
Another one is to keep a no list. Keep a no list. Write down the things that you're no longer willing to tolerate in 2025. So this is a no list. Make you a no list. And this could be toxic relationships. It could be procrastination. It could be overworking. I guarantee that all of us have stuff that we could put on our no list.
Yeah.
And just the fact of stopping and writing it down, bringing it to mind and writing it down, committing it to a written list will improve our lives, period.
Right.
Switch to your phone to grayscale. Now, this is a very interesting one.
Like it.
So turn your screen black and white one day every week. You can pick the day you want, but one day every week, simply do grayscale. So he's not asking you not to use your phone.
Right.
You can keep using your phone. You can keep doing your thing.
Take the color away.
But take the color away. First of all, it's going to do a couple of things. It's going to dull the excitement of notifications and our screen time, which is so addictive and enticing. This is so simple that it's scary, Lauren. You know, when you stop and think about it. If you just one day a week flip to grayscale.
You're not going to want to use it much at all.
Yeah. Because you're going to realize you're going to realize a couple of things. You're going to realize, wow, how much am I addicted to this thing? How much am I using it? And then you're right. I mean, you know, taking the color out of it is not, you know, we're not gonna be drawn to it like we are.
No, and all of the things, anything that you use on your phone, whether it's social media or pictures, right? I mean, it's not going to be.
Yeah, and think about this. You're not missing a thing.
Nope.
You're not missing a thing here. It's just, you know, of course, you know, some of us are old enough to remember black and white television, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, we still watch TV.
It'd be interesting to know those stats.
Yeah, how much color TV and then increased pictures changed. Well, I don't know what the stats are, but I know it was a massive change.
Yeah.
You know, I intuitively know that.
Yeah.
Here's another one called the weekend reflection. I like this one.
Okay.
So every Sunday, review your week and ask yourself a few questions. Ask yourself what went well this week.
Okay.
Ask yourself what needs work from this week.
Yep.
And ask yourself, what am I going to do differently next week? Now, those are not complicated questions or complex questions.
No.
And yet, as simple as
powerful.
they are, they're powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, and those are the type of things that you don't even really have to do anything about them. I mean, simply asking the questions and bringing them to your awareness
Yeah.
can be a powerful tool. Now, of course, you could take that a step farther, and then with the what didn't go well and what do I want to do differently, you can really work out potential goals and steps to get there.
Right.
But just the act of starting or ending the week, depending on how you view Sunday, right, with that reflection.
Right.
And, well, it's a start and an end, right? You're
Yeah.
looking forward, backwards and forwards.
So what went
Can be
well?
a powerful.
Yeah, it can be a very powerful.
Growth
What went
tool.
well? What needs work? What will I do differently next week?
Mm,
Last
that.
but certainly not least, I think this one is a powerful one. This
Okay.
may be the most powerful one of the list. I don't know. He calls it the learn and share practice.
Okay.
Okay, so after anything that you learn new,
Yeah.
after learning something new, teach it.
Mm-hmm.
So teach it to at least one person within 24 hours of learning it.
Mm.
And, the old saying is, if you really want to learn something,
Teach it.
teach it. And I have found that personally to be absolutely true.
You know what's interesting is actually the words teach and learn are etymologically linked. Like they root back to the same root, which means to learn.
Yeah,
So even when you teach, the word itself means learn.
learn. So teaching locks in knowledge, and it also spreads value. So the learning, he calls it the learn and share practice. After learning anything new, teach it to one person within 24 hours. I used to collect jokes.
Yeah.
I don't do this so much anymore, but I've proven this one to myself, because when I would hear a new joke, I would make it a point to tell it and share it at least 3 times within a day or two,
Yeah.
and then I had it.
Yeah, sure.
And a lot of the jokes that, they were story-like jokes. So you'd want to remember
They were
them.
the long ones.
Yeah, they were the longer ones. So committing them to memory was very helpful by sharing, by
Right.
teaching, if you will.
Doing it over and over
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Underrated habits, talking about them today. Underrated habits that can change our lives in a very positive way. We'll be back. More to come here on Strategies. Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center. I say it a lot. There's no place like the Robinson.
Absolutely, there is not.
617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. You've got so much. You got the movies. You got Abby Singer's Bistro on the second floor of RFC, open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday.
Newly remodeled.
Absolutely great menu. RobinsonFilmCenter.org is the way you check it all out. You can go to RobinsonFilmCenter.org at any time and find out what movies are showing. Here's the deal. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. When you become a member, you become a star. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. I'll say it again. There's no place like the Robinson.
There is not, and I'm glad we have one right here.
Absolutely. The RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Donisa Walker with Learning RX Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending, Learning RX Shreveport offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call Learning RX Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child, so does Learning RX Shreveport.
Life gets hard along the way. Gotta get through it day by day. We get strategies right here. Strategies for living radio.
Oh, we got a lot of them, yeah, for all of us. We all need them, don't we?
That's what we do.
Welcome back into 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren, Leon, McMillan, David McMillan, talking about underrated habits today that if we implement them, they can be very positive life changers. Drink water first thing. Schedule nothing time. Leave one bite on your plate. Flip the what if questions. Delete one app monthly. Do 1% more daily. Keep a no list. Switch your phone to grayscale. The weekend reflection and the learn and share practice. What are you taking away from our time today, Lauren?
Well, I think we all know, at least unconsciously, how powerful habits are.
Yeah.
And they really can be as simple as these to add in. I mean, because a lot of times when we talk about habits, we think about breaking them and the difficulty of that.
Right.
But we forget how underrated adding small micro habits like these can be.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And folks, thank you. I hope we've given you some ideas to think about, and certainly I thank the author for coming up and putting this list up.
Good stuff.
Thank you for being with us here on Strategies for Living, and we appreciate our sponsors making it possible. The Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Pintail Roofing and Learning RX and the Balanced Life Wellness Center and Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, Alligator Italian Sausage. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who is it that you'd call? And what is it that you'd say? Why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillan, I'm David McMillan. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.